Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Ashton Jackson, and in today's video, man, I'm going to be previewing the Dallas Cowboys versus Detroit Lions Week 6 matchup. And really, it's very important. This one is going to be very important for the Dallas Cowboys just because you haven't been able to win a home game in three times this season already. You already took 3 L's at home, including that Green Bay loss, and the other two came against the Ravens and the New Orleans Saints in back-to-back weeks, just this NFL regular season alone. And then also, you are 1-1 in the conference right now, right? So it's very imperative that you have to beat the Detroit Lions because you want to improve your NFC conference record, and you cannot lose this game because if you lose this game again, your next 6 games are tough. You got San Fran, Atlanta, Philly, Washington, Texans. Not in that order, but you got those teams coming up. It's going to be very tough. So before we jump to the video, I appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who think will enjoy my content. So hopping straight into it, again, I'm going to go over the injury report for both teams. First, I'm going to go over the Detroit Lions. They don't really have anybody really missing that's of any key significance. They're not going to have Christian Mahogany. He had an illness. His game status is out. Brian Branch also had an illness. He's probably going to play. Kirby Joseph had a hamstring. He's going to play. Frank Ragnow was coming off a pectoral injury. He's going to play as well. So we're not really too worried about Detroit. And for the most part, in terms of their health-wise, they're not going to miss anybody significant. But the Dallas Cowboys, you look at our injury report, dang, dude, like, it's like dang near the entire team is on it, right? It's mainly the defense, but one key note that we did get, and I forgot to make a video, and I haven't been making a lot of videos in the past couple of days, is because Marshawn Kneeland, he's thank God he missed what possibly looked like a torn ACL, and he just something to his meniscus he did something towards, but he'll be able to come back later this season. That's going to be anywhere from a 4 to 6 week injury. They might put him on IR, they might not. I'm not sure with him. But DaRon Bland is coming back, and that's exactly who we need in this game because Detroit has weapons out the man. They got weapons everywhere, and they got it with Tim Patrick. They got Sam Laporta. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They got Jameson Williams, who's finally coming into his own. If you've been following the draft, you've been waiting for Jameson Williams to really pop out, and he did last year in the NFC Championship game. And then, he's been doing it and putting it together in the regular season. So he's looking really solid as well. Tim Patrick, if I didn't say his name, him. You got David Montgomery. You got Jahmyr Gibbs. They have a lot of great talent. So, but receiving wise, we need to keep up with them, and that's why it's imperative that DaRon Bland is back. Same goes for Kellen Carson. He's coming back. So it's nice to have that depth. And your first 3 corners are going to be Diggs, Bland, and Lewis anyway. Carson's probably going to have to see some special team duties, but I'm fine with that. Tyler Guyton, he had a knee injury. He was full participant all throughout the week. Eric Kendricks just popped up on the injury report, I believe, on a Wednesday. And now he's reported out. And now that makes room for what your potential future is going to look like with DeMar Van Overshown and Maris Louisville. So, we're going to see what those two can be able to do. Maris Louisville had a really great stop last week versus the Pittsburgh Steelers on that 3rd down. He came in and knocked the ball out. That was a really smart play for him to notice that and punch the ball out and was able to get us off the field that down. So I'm really proud of what he was able to do. Hopefully he's able to put it together in this game versus Detroit. Hopefully, Osa, Linval, Mozzie are able to keep the linebackers clean and they can go in and make plays. I'm really confident in what Maris Louisville can do as your green dot guy moving forward until Eric Kendricks is back healthy. He'll be able to, I believe Eric Kendricks will be able to come back versus San Fran, but he just won't be able to play this game. Michael Parsons, we already know he's not going to be playing this game. We're going to get him back versus San Francisco. That's in 2 weeks. So, yeah, man, the number one thing into beating the Detroit Lions is the number one thing we have to do is set the tone. We've been embarrassed the past 3 times we played at home, and that's including Green Bay. We have to show pride, man. That's very key in this game, is that we have to show pride. And another thing that you have to do is stop the run. That's another way in setting the tone. You have to stop the run. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, They're wanting to run the ball on you. This is a team that wants to run the ball to eventually set the run off of the pass and play action. So it's key that we have to stop the run. And the other thing we have to do is we have to tackle, man. This is a yards after catch type of team. They're going to get guys in space, get guys on rub routes, crossing routes. They're going to throw into a spot. Amon-Ra is going to want to make a play. He's going to catch it in stride and make a move. Same with Jameson Williams. They want to go throw seam routes to Sam Laporta. They want to have to do a tight end screen. So they are going to want to do what we're going to have to do is what they're going to have to give their teams and give their team a shot by putting the ball in the hands of the playmaker. I feel like if we're able to stop the run, we're able to tackle. And also what Mike Zimmer has to do is, this is what apparently what we brought him in to do, right? It wasn't a great showing versus the New Orleans Saints, but that was week 2 into the league, right? But now you're 6 weeks into it. You have to be able to mix up your coverages and make it very hard for Jerry Goff. You don't want to make it easy for him, have him sit back there like how he did versus Seattle. Like he had all damn day versus Seattle. And the only way in which Jared Goff ever does get sacked is when Jared Goff holds onto the ball past that 2.7 second mark. He's holding the ball for 3 to 4 seconds, and if you're able to get home, you can get to Jared Goff like that. But you're not going to be able to. This isn't a bad offensive line. This is the best offensive line in this league. So we don't have anybody right now that can get home versus the Detroit Lions as of right now. But that's why Zimmer has to mix up his coverages, because that's the only time Jared Goff gets sacked is when it's a really great coverage. He has to hold on to the ball a little bit longer, and then he gets sacked. So it's very imperative that Mike Zimmer mixes up his coverages. We have to communicate defensively. This team utilizes a lot of motion, and they say that when offenses motion, a lot of great defensive players say, I heard it from Luke Kuechly, I heard it from all these great players. They say that once you utilize motion, defenses are forced to communicate. Let's communicate correctly in an effective way, in an effective manner, because I don't want there to be emotion and we're in man and we were supposed to pick up one guy and we have Jameson Williams or Amon-Ra running scot-free. Same with Sam Laporta or Jahmyr Gibbs when he lines up out wide. David Montgomery when he lines up out wide. I don't want there to be miscommunication. Let's make sure that we communicate. Another thing we have to do, we have to create a turnover. I believe that we can get some significant 3 and outs versus this team. But I want the Dallas Cowboys to get some possessions on short fields where they're able to punch it in for 6, and that's another thing that the Dallas Cowboys have to do. They have to score a lot of points in this game. If I had to say what number they would have to get to win this game, I think you're gonna have to beat this team. Not beat this team by a certain number, but you have to score at least 4 to 5 touchdowns, which is anywhere from 28 to 35 points. Assuming that you make all your extra points, that's what's gonna have to be, right? So. Let's make sure that we're doing that. Let's create a turnover. I want to give our offense an extra shot to score. And also, now we're talking about the offensive side of the ball. We got to give our playmakers the ball. And this game, more than ever, we're going to have to introduce Jake Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb, Tolbert, Cavante Turpin, Rico Dowdle. Those are guys that have to get targets early and often, carries early and often. I believe that we're going to be able to score on this football team. I think where we're going to have our most success is through the air. Just like how it was last year, they are a little bit better in the secondary than what they were last year. Cam Sutton was clearly their weak link, right? And any receiver that he was on, you have to throw the ball at him. Now their cornerback room has gotten a little bit better. They do have Terrion Arnold, who's grabby from Alabama. He was Of course, they got him in the first round. We made a deal with each other. Dallas Cowboys, we moved down. They moved up to go get Terrion Arnold, and they did. So they got their corner, and we got a receiver that can give him fits. And I believe that CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Tolbert can really give those guys problems. I really think that if you put CeeDee Lamb on Terrion Arnold or Carlton Davis, CeeDee Lamb is going to have one of those games. Like how he had last time we played the Detroit Lions last year. 12, 13 catches, dang near 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think that's what CeeDee Lamb can do. If we can block up Aiden Hutchinson, I think we can be able to do that. But that's very imperative what the Dallas Cowboys have to do. They have to protect Dak Prescott and make sure Aiden Hutchinson doesn't ruin this game. Aiden Hutchinson will move across this defensive line. He isn't going to stick strictly on Terrence Hill. We caught a break last week versus the Pittsburgh Steelers because they didn't move around TJ Watt, but this game they're going to want to move around Aiden Hutchinson, and they know that they can get a lot out of him. So don't think that we have a break because hey, he's on Terrence Steele, whatever, right? We also have to pay attention to Tyler Guyton because I know they're going to want to put Tyler Guyton on that. They're want to put 800% on Tyler Guyton, but then also they're similarly built to us to where they don't have much pass rush outside of their main guy, and that's Aiden Hutchinson. So if we're able to block Aiden Hutchinson, we're going to be able to throw the ball on this football team, right? Another thing that we're going to have to do is run the ball. I know this is, again, another top defensive run unit, but so is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know they have some injuries with Nick Herbig, and I know that we did have Tyler Smith play interior, which is what we're going to need if we want to have this run game work. Let's keep them honest. Last week the game was a little bit easier, especially in that 2-minute drill. We had to go down and go score the point to go score that last minute touchdown. It had to be because it was easier because we was able to run the ball. Rico Dowdle we were able to run the ball for 100 plus yards against the Steelers, who is the number one ranked defensive team, run stopping team in the league. Now I know they got Ali McNeil and DJ Reader, the Detroit Lions, who in the interior of their defensive line, but they're going to be able to stop the run. But I think at times we should be able to run the ball. I don't think this is a team defensively where we can't move the ball at all on them. I just don't think that in terms of running the ball. I think we're able to do that. I think if we're able to play hat on hat, man on man, I think we're going to be able to and move some guys. If we're able to get to the second level versus Detroit, I think that we can have a decent day running the ball. I'm not saying we need to be like Detroit and run the ball 20, 25 times and we're going to average 4.4 yards between two backs. So I don't think that's going to be the case, but I do think that we're able to run the ball on this team. Utilize motion. I shouldn't have to say this, but every single time that we utilize motion, our offense is a lot better, and we saw that last week, right? So once we utilize motion, we are a better football team. Don't turn the ball over, because if you do, you will get blown out, as well as not converting in the red zone. If you don't get 6 points in the red zone, you are going to lose against this football team. You have to score. Keep that clean and stay healthy, because we're getting a lot of our players back after the bye week right before San Francisco. So it makes a lot of sense for us to try and stay healthy. I'm not saying that we must do that or else we're going to lose. No, it's just that we've already been dealing with a lot of injuries and we're only 6 weeks into the season. We're having a lot of key contributors gone, with Brandon Cooks being on IR for at least 4 games. Same goes for DeMarcus Lawrence. Same goes for Marshawn Nealon. Those are guys that are going to be out for 4 to 7 weeks. Dang near 2 months of football they're possibly going to be missing. So it's very imperative that we try to stay healthy. This is going to be a physical football team, right? And then last but not least, leave AT&T with the win. Detroit is going to want to come in. They're fired up for this game, not only because they're playing the Dallas Cowboys. Dan Campbell used to be a Dallas Cowboy, used to be a player for the Dallas Cowboys. Then also they're very upset about what happened last year. That's their fault. But at the same point, I felt like they should have won that game even without the whole eligible and ineligible type of motion anyway. I just felt like we played very bad that game. We got lucky that we won that game, and they know that because they said that in the press conference that next time they see us, they thought they were going to see us in the playoffs. They said that we're going to have their number. So we're going to see. They're going to play us this week. They're going to play us tough. Every team plays us tough. That isn't something that scares me. I already know every single week it's always somebody's Super Bowl. Look at New Orleans. New Orleans spent all that energy, all that time in the field room to go beat us, and then 3 straight weeks they drop games. So we are going to see what this team is about. But again, top to bottom, what we're going to have to do to beat the Detroit Lions to set the tone. You've been embarrassed at home 3 times in a row, and that's including this year versus Green Bay. Stop the run. David Montgomery, everyone knows your weakness. Everybody knows that they can run the ball in the Dallas Cowboys. They weren't able to do that last year. They're definitely going to run the ball this year. Tackle. This team is a yak team. This team is, once you throw the ball into stride, they catch a drag route wide open. They catch a crosser wide open. They work a lot of intermediate to short type of passes. So get the ball to them in space. They're going to get open. We have to tackle in space. Zimmer, mix up your coverages. The Lions have a great offensive line. And since we have 0 pass rush, Goff needs to hold on to the ball a little bit longer. Communicate defensively. This team utilizes a lot of motion. Create a turnover. It gives our offense an extra shot to score. Give your playmakers the ball. This game more than ever, Ferg, Tolbert, CeeDee Lamb needs to get the ball. Turpin needs to get the ball. Run the ball. Last week was bad from a turnover aspect from Dak Prescott turning the ball over, but the game was easier when you're able to run the ball. Same for this game. Don't turn the ball over, but I think if you're able to run the ball, it makes your time a little bit easier. It makes Dak Prescott life a little bit easier where he doesn't have to be Superman all the damn time. Utilize motion. Shouldn't have to say that. For ourselves, we have to utilize motion. Don't turn the ball over because if you do, you will get blown out. Keep Dak Prescott clean, stay healthy, and leave AT&T with a win. Finally, let's win. Let's win a game at home for the Dallas Cowboy fans. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.